Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, today we're looking at an audio product. It's primarily a podcasting sound mixer, but it can be used in all sorts of broadcast scenarios, video production scenarios. It's a content creation mixer really, and it is the Rodecaster Pro 2 that we have here. I actually did own the original Rodecaster and I loved that particular sound mixer. It was great as a sound mixer, but it was great for podcasting. You could plug all your XLR microphones in, whether they be dynamic or condenser microphones. You could plug your telephone in if you were getting calls coming in via the telephone, and it had the mix minus feature. So the caller didn't get feedback and you didn't get any feedback either. So that was a great product. This one goes one stage further, well, many stages further. I'm not going to go into great detail what this features because it's got so much in it. I'm not the expert with audio, I'm not the expert with podcasting, so I'm the wrong person really to go into great detail what this particular mixer has. But I'm just going to do an overview of the sort of features that I'll be using and what I like about this particular product. I've always enjoyed Rode products. I think they're great. It's a great company who manufacture great stuff. I've purchased many of their microphones over the years. I'm actually using the Rode NTG2 here just to pick up background noise. Well, basically it's backup audio. I'm running my main audio via the new Max wireless microphone. That's going into my Canon R7, so I'm hoping I'm getting really nice crisp audio from that. There will be a review on this particular microphone coming up soon, but that's what I'm using as my main microphone. But I am running two mics into my Rodecaster Pro 2. And I will be doing some sound tests with this particular mixer. I will want you guys and girls to listen to the audio that this mixer produces. Not necessarily in this video, although I may well do, I don't know yet. We shall see how it goes. Yeah, so I'm running the Rode NTG2, which is a condenser microphone, into the Rodecaster Pro 2. I'm also running my Rode Procaster dynamic microphone into the Rodecaster Pro 2, and that's a great thing with this particular product. You can mix and match all types of microphones, whether it be wireless microphones, condenser microphones, broadcast spec, dynamic microphones, you know, whatever they might be. I've actually got muted at the moment my Rode Procaster microphone because I don't want to get it confusing with too many audio channels going in, and you can see on the level display there that I'm getting a nice level using my Rode NTG2. Lovely faders on here, that's taking it right out, and they have this line here that they call Unity, and that's where you set the microphones up. So when you plug a microphone into the unit, it's got presets in here, so you just click on, and it's all touchscreen. This lovely 5-inch screen is touchscreen, and a really high quality screen. I'm very impressed with the quality of this screen. And so if we look at our muted channel, which is my Procaster microphone, that's this one here, that's muted at the moment. You can tell here the red light is glowing red. How easy that would be to see on the screen, I don't know, but it is actually muted. That's not muted, and now that's muted. But if you want to change all the settings, you just literally touch it, go into the settings. I've got set Procaster set there. It has got different presets for lots of different microphones, lots of different popular microphones. Obviously the Rode microphones are in there, although oddly enough I can't find a preset for the Rode NTG. I think they're presets for the dynamic broadcast microphones that Rode make that are in here, and a few of the Shaw microphones and one or two others. But it's great because you can preset it up there. I'm not into audio processing at all, so I don't really understand all the different parameters that you can set up. So I've gone into the processing one, and I've set it to the defaults, which is great. So you've got presets here, click on presets, and you've got neutral, podcast studio and broadcast, and they just give a slightly different flavor to the tone, a really rich flavor to the tone that you're setting. Or you can dig much deeper and go into all the different settings that you want to go into, and it sets all touchscreen, which is fantastic. And to get out of that, you just go to home, and then you're back into the main screen here. You can go into your settings, and that'll bring up all your different settings for your outputs, your display, the system settings, everything that you need. Setting up your smart pads. What a fantastic system. And the other great thing with it, you can assign these faders to whatever input you want. Now I've got these assigned to my mics. You can see here 1, 2, 3 and 4 are set to 4 mic inputs, and then the other 2 is USB and Bluetooth. And then the other one is another USB port. No, it isn't, it's the pads. So you can preset those up and move these faders along to wherever you want them to be, to, you know, for what you're actually doing. So you might only have 2 microphones going in, but you may well have a keyboard or some other form of, you know, instrument, maybe a guitar instrument going in. So you can set a fader up for that. It doesn't have to be a microphone, you know, and you can see as you move the fader, you get a visual display of where that fader is, which is absolutely fantastic. I like it. Very, very easy to use. Lovely clear display. So you've got no problem with seeing the audio and seeing how good the audio is. So when you are doing your podcasting, you can set it up and you can basically forget about it, because you know it's going to produce the audio that you want. Now, it has got 2 USB ports on the back. Well, it's got 3 actually. I got a bit confused when I was setting it up, but it's got 2 USB ports to go to 2 computers, so you can set up 2 computers. Now I've got set up my MacBook Pro, my old MacBook Pro, and I'll tell you why I've got set up my old MacBook Pro in just a moment, but I've got my old MacBook Pro set up, and I've got a stereo feed coming out of USB 1 into the MacBook Pro, and I'm recording that in Amadeus. Now, I wouldn't normally do that. I'm doing it for this particular demonstration purposes, but you can record directly into your computer. So if that's the audio you want to use for creating your podcast, it is there, you know. And you can either set it up for pre-fade or post-fade. I have it set up for post-fade because that's how I want to be able to do it. I want the master fade output going onto the computer. It's got another USB port we can set up to another computer, so you can run 2 computers at the same time. You might want to run Rode's own software on one of the other computers. I'm running Amadeus, so very flexible from that point of view. And it's got a USB-C power port, so I'm running obviously power into my power port on the back there. What I haven't tried yet is whether I can power it via a USB block. The fact that it's a USB-C port, I suspect you probably can, and I haven't done that yet. If I work that out, I'll do another video and say to you how I can do that. But I did have issues setting up my MacBook Pro. I've got a M1 Mac Mini set up here, and I couldn't get it to work on that at all. I tried everything. I tried different cables, different ways of connecting the Rodecaster Pro 2 to the computer. It wouldn't work. Now, I suspect maybe the software isn't set up to run on an M1 Mac. I don't know. You know, the M1 Silicon Mac, or even the M2 for that matter. But the minute I set it up on my MacBook Pro, which is an Intel Mac, works absolutely fine. So, I don't know. I would be interested to know if any of you guys and girls in the audience have got a Rodecaster Pro 2 and have set it up successfully with your M1 or M2 Mac, either Mac Studio or Mac Mini. That would be really helpful to know, because I couldn't get it to work. I'd love to know what I was doing wrong if you have managed to set it up successfully. And that was the major thing I had when I unplugged this and set it all up. I couldn't get that to work. But once I got around that by setting it up with the MacBook Pro, it's very straightforward. It's got Wi-Fi built into the unit, so you can use a Wi-Fi connection for updating software and firmware on the machine. That's what I've done, and I think that is, you know, a great feature. Also, they're going to be bringing out new firmware, and they're updating the firmware all the time. but they're bringing out new firmware which will enable you to connect your Rode Wireless Go 2 microphone directly to it, so you won't need to plug a receiver into the actual unit. It's got its own Wi-Fi audio receiver in there, so that's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to playing with that because I have got me Rode Wireless Go 2s. I tend not to use them. I'm using other mics all the time. I'm always getting mics in for review, but it'd be fun to be able to try that. It could be a very useful feature. So that's basically all these pads here, and it's got at the bottom here you basically got your solo and you've got your mute. Solo just means you're listening to that one channel and not the others. So when you switch solo on, and mute obviously mutes that channel. And I've got my Rodecaster microphone muted at the moment, so there's no conflict between my different inputs. And on here, on this side, you've got your bank of pads, which you can again either set up via your computer, but you can put anything in these pads, any sound effects, music, jingles, whatever you might want to put in these pads. They're also controllable. You can set these up to control various inputs. I haven't played with all of that yet, but and there's 24, it's 3 banks. So there's bank 1, you just scroll through them, so easy. Comes up here on the display here, and you can see you can set up all your different pads for what you want to do, and you can either set it up on the computer or you can set it up on here. So you know, bank 1, bank 2, that's bank 3. See there, bank 3 is empty, bank 2 and bank 1. So there's stuff in bank 1 and bank 2, but if we look at that and I do something, it'll play out on, you know, through here into my computer. It won't come out onto the camera because I haven't got it set up for doing that. Actually I have, and that's the other nice thing. I've got a master out going out the back here into my camera. I had to buy a cable to be able to do that, and that's working really well. I've got it going into my Sony a6600, so I've got a master out. It hasn't got a separate line out on this particular device, unlike my Tascam Mixcast 4 has. That's got a separate line out to a camera. This one hasn't. You take the one master out, which is basically 3/4 inch jack connections. Take a master left and right hand channel out to 3.5mm jack on your camera, and you've got a control here for controlling the output gain. I'm not so sure how accurate that is, because again I've not had a chance to really play with that, but that's got the master output gain. It does other things as well, but that's what I've got it set up for. So if I push that, you'll let's put my headphones on, just see what happens. You can tell if I push that, you get a jingle that will come out. Oh, nothing. You guys and girls wouldn't have heard that, but I might well put that in the main video edit. So let's do that again. So if I do that, you might be able to hear that. And I can control the output level of that using this fader. So, but you don't have to. You can set these up exactly how you want. It is all very configurable. And that's so much better than the Mark 1 version. The Mark 1 was preset, so the faders were set for those, you know, mic inputs. Also, what's great with the inputs on the back, I've got it set up as XLR inputs because I'm running 2 XLR microphones into it. But you can run instruments into there. You can run line inputs into those connections. It's either XLR or 3/4 inch jack. It's either or with those particular connections. So again, flexible, really flexible. It's got 4 headphone outputs. One of them's a master headphone output, so that would be for the host of your podcast who would plug his or her headphones into the master headphone output, and then 3 other headphone outputs for 3 guests if you've got guests in and you've got them going into one of these other channels. So I can hear now that's me master output, so if I bring that level down, I can clearly hear a difference in level there, so that's, you know, that's really good. So yeah, 3 headphone outputs there. All the connections are on the back of the unit. I would have liked to have seen a headphone jack on the front of the unit. Again, the Mixcast 4 has a headphone jack on the front of the unit. I would like to have seen that, but there isn't one. There is on the new model, the Rodecaster Duo. It's a smaller unit, but that one has got a headphone jack on the front of the unit. This one hasn't. Obviously, you can record internally as well as output into a computer, or you can obviously, because it is designed for streaming, you can output directly to something like OBS or one of the other streaming programs, and you can output via the USB-C port to your computer for doing that. I'm actually outputting the USB-C to my computer for recording the audio, but it has got internal recording via micro SD card. I wish it was a full size, a normal size SD card. It isn't. It's a micro SD card. I don't like them. They're fiddly, they're tiny, but you know, it is what it is. So it records to a micro SD card, and it's a a nice compact unit. It's smaller than the original Rodecaster, so that again is great. Fits on my little stand here perfectly, and as I say, because it can take dynamic microphones or condenser microphones, you can mix and match if you really wanted to. I guess a lot of people that are doing podcasting will be using dynamic microphones, and that's what I've got here. So if we just listen to how good the sound quality is, hopefully we'll be able to listen to how good the sound quality is from something like the Procaster microphone. Let's now mute my NTG2, and we'll listen to how good the sound is using a Procaster. Because it's a dynamic microphone, you have to be a little bit quite a bit closer to the microphone. So I'm going to put my headphones on now so I can actually hear what it's like. So now let's mute that one. Now I've unmuted my Procaster microphone, and it's really rich, deep, almost like bassy sort of sound. There's quite a rich sound that's coming off the Rode Procaster microphone. I'm at the sort of distance that you'd be talking into a microphone. Now, unfortunately, it isn't a clean sounding room in here. It's just a converted old shop. And also the microphone is very close to 2 computers and the actual unit. I'm not so sure that would be the ideal thing to do, but that's the amount of space. You can see what little space I have here, and that's what I'm doing. And I can see it's just going into the yellow a bit. I think those levels are pretty decent. Doesn't sound like it's distorting, but you get a lovely rich sound. And of course, with all the audio processing that goes on under the bonnet here, you can manually change the sound, how you want it to be. I've gone for its presets. I've gone for its preset dB setting, and that all seems to be pretty decent. I'm really loving that sound quality. Totally impractical for what I do, because obviously I'm talking to camera. So but if I was doing podcasting, this would be very practical, and it would give a nice rich sound. I would probably have my other computers turned off so you don't get a hum. I don't know if there is a hum. Yeah, you can just hear in the background the hum of, well, I've actually got a computer turned on over there as well. So you do get a bit of a hum coming through. But yeah, that is the sound quality with a dynamic microphone. It's got a cardioid pattern with these dynamic microphones, but they're great for this sort of thing because it's not picking up noise around. It's a very directional and a very solid sort of sound. Not a sort of microphone you would use for video production, but a great microphone for podcasting and getting that really deep, rich sound. So yeah, I really like that. But I think I switched back to me NTG2 for the rest of this video. Yeah, so that's really weird when you take your headphones off. You sound like I don't know. It sounds really different. So yeah, that is the Rodecaster Pro 2, a great content creation device. As I say, not just for podcasting, because you can plug so much into it. And all your line level, you could have 6 line level inputs going in. if you really wanted to. So you could have cassette decks, if anyone knows what they are, open reel decks, guitars, instruments, microphones. It'll take it all. It will take all of it. And the output settings are tremendous, with a variety of different output settings it has, and output functions, you know, to two computers, built-in audio recording for backup or for your master. It actually records it as a stereo master. It's I haven't worked out yet how to record each individual separate channel. I have on the Mixcast 4, which I've got over there, that's why I'm looking over in that direction, that will record internally to the separate tracks. Also, Tascam have a piece of software which can record the audio tracks separately as well. So there's a lot to learn. I have a lot to learn about this particular devices yet. Again, being able to record the tracks separately would be ideal for me, because if I do, because I am running two mics into here, if I find that one of them is really poor quality, then if I've got a separate track with the other microphone, then I can use that microphone and use that track. So there are definitely benefits with being able to record the audio separately. But as an overall product, so far, in the very limited time I've had with this, which is about 4 days, 3 or 4 days, I'm absolutely really excited, and I think it has a lot to offer in my studio setup. So yeah, great product. Very impressed with Rode products, as I said, but yeah, great product. So there we go. That's a quick look, a quick intro to the Rodecaster Pro 2. It's all touchscreen. I think I said that, didn't I? And you can see all the master output levels there, and all the different input levels. Let me just put both microphones on for the moment so you can see the different input levels that are coming in to the unit. And I'm saying it's so easy just to configure the different microphones, the different setups, and how you want to do it, how you want to use it. Everything is so configurable. Your outputs, how you want to route your outputs, what processing you want to do. You know, so much goes, so much there. Yeah, very excited about playing a lot more with this particular unit. So there we go. That's the introduction to the Rodecaster Pro 2. I hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content on my videos. Would really appreciate that. Helps me grow the channel. So thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, podcasting, so on and so forth. Cheers for now. Bye.